Don't Give Up Your Day Job, a local musician's guide. By me, Paul Gillings. An educational and sometimes humorous look at what it's like to be part of the local music scene. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Don't Give Up Your Day Job podcast by me, Paul Gillings, talking about local music scenes, how to get along with them, what to do. And today, to help us on our journey, is a local radio station owner and all-round good guy. Also owns a small record company, but I'll get him to tell you about that briefly as well. Mr. Neil Jones. Welcome, Mr. Neil Jones.
Hello, Paul. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Thanks for coming over to the little studio. It must be weird to be in someone else's studio for a change instead of your own.
Very weird, but excuse me today, because I've got a frog that's been at the back of my throat for about a week or two now. So.
Did you swallow a tadpole last month? Is that what it is?
Feels like it, yes.
It is, okay.
Several.
Well, I didn't get you over here to sit here and talk about your bloody ailments, to be fair.
My knee's playing up, to be perfectly honest with you.
You just walked up 4 flights of stairs, so I'm not surprised.
Yes, it is weird, yes, because I normally sit where you sit.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is very weird.
It was just asking me about mic proximity, weren't you? And it's
yes.
like, am I all right here? Should I normally do this? No, I'll worry about that for a change. You just try not to nudge it when you're flailing your arms around like a fool.
That's lovely.
So, Neil, just tell us what it is you do, please, buddy, as musically, not sexually or anything like that. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed that on the car on the way here.
But if you could tell me what you do, Dr. Ruth thing.
What shall we do for all directions? I don't know.
Put them on the radio. I run Smart Radio 101, online radio station, which is hard to say this because I want to go broadcasting to the world because music matters.
Straight into the patter.
Straight in.
Can't help it. It's an affliction.
I can't, no. And
you can do. You just did it. It's fine, mate. This is a safe place.
Yeah, so Smart Radio for 4 years now. That's what I gave up the day job. Mm-hmm. I had a day job.
Okay.
And gave it up to do this. So when you said, do you want to come on? I laughed. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like a highly skilled job. It was more of a manual outdoor job. But I equated it to quite a good yearly fee. That would have been by the end of the year.
What, for your previous job?
My previous job.
Well, sex workers in Yarmouth, I think, get paid quite well, don't they?
Hey, I couldn't even get paid this much as a sex worker.
With that body, leave it out.
Come on, man.
Do you mind me asking what you did do before this? So I have no idea. We've only known each other 4 years. How would I know?
I've done so much, but I used to be a painter and decorator and gardener, handyman. I was working on conservatories.
So you quite literally gave up your day job to run a local radio station. So the radio station is, although it's an internet radio station, your focus is locally, like Great Yarmouth, Lowestoft and that kind of area?
That was the idea. Yeah. To be perfectly honest with you, you moved that table, I still kicked it.
You did, didn't you?
That was the idea. Let's get in, we'll be a local station. And there are community stations all up and down the country. They're called community radio stations, and that's what they do. Joni can come on and talk about a hamster breeding programme, and if anyone would like some hamsters, great. Or the healing properties of runestones with Margaret. And I'm not being sexist by saying Joni and Margaret, but Steve gave up the healing runestones and he's gone to tarot now. But that's a community radio station. Get in, talk about things going on within the community.
Right.
And then a bit of music. But and I've worked on one of these. I've worked on an FM community station just before they went to FM. And I left because I was too busy with my day job to commit to that when they went FM. So I said, no, don't leave, just do that show. Keep doing your show, don't worry about it. I went, okay. So I did once a week on a Sunday, work all week, once a week on a Sunday, come in and do a 2-hour show, and then back to work during the week.
On somebody else's show?
On somebody else's radio station, a community station. And I left there because of a disagreement, which was neither here nor there. It was a silly disagreement. I shouldn't have left. But I'm stubborn. And when things get in your head, you just think, I'm off, I can do better. I'll start my own.
Yeah.
And a few months later, someone said, well, how are you getting on with this of your own? And I went, well, I wasn't serious, but leave it with me.
I haven't done it yet, but I'm planning to.
And then within a few months, we were up, and it was happening. And within 11 and a half weeks from, okay, let's do this, to getting everything in place that needed to be in place, including a full lineup of presenters, 11 and a half weeks.
Wow, that's some movement, isn't it?
Yeah, and one of the guys, wonderful guy, DJ'd with him back in the day, John Rogers. He's been involved with so many radio stations throughout the years. Helped us with a little bit of technical stuff that I didn't understand.
Internet-wise, or like because things had changed since you started in radio?
The operating system that we used was a company. It was called Myriad. And it used to be the go-to place for BBC.
This is a piece of software. So did you start then old school valves and knobs and twiddles and stuff like that?
No, straight onto a computer.
Straight onto there. So you literally had day jobs in fields and whatever it was.
I was
window fitting and all that
I was
business.
Insulating and putting new roofs on conservatories.
Okay, so
how
would you be? Had you been a DJ before, or was it just a love of music?
42 years.
So like a party DJ? What are we talking about?
Club DJ.
Club DJ. Okay, so not weddings and funerals and bar mitzvahs.
I've done those as well. Yes,
Yeah.
I think all DJs do. But yeah, I used to work in one of the biggest clubs in the area.
What, a nightclub?
Yeah,
Okay,
I worked London.
Yeah.
I went to London as a mobile DJ with all of the disco equipment and records to take it all upstairs into a block of flats because a friend of mine went, "Could you help me out and do the disco?"
A house
and
party.
I went, "Go on then." And it turned out to be a house party. And I went, "What do you mean it's a block of flats?" I said, "Do you know the places I've worked?" He went, "But you said yes." And I went, "I know, and I'll stand by it. But what about the neighbours upstairs and down?" He said, "They're all invited." You've never seen so many people in this little London flat.
Awesome.
So I've done it all.
Yeah.
The only thing I haven't done on my tick list is a 100th birthday.
Oh, wow, okay.
I've done a christening, I've done a wedding, I've done an 18th,
See, me and my dad had a joint birthday. He was 60 and I was 40, and we called that 100 years. But it's not quite the same thing, hey?
I've done a 70th, 80th, 90th. I've done a 99th birthday.
99th. Is she?
I've done a funeral.
Are they still alive? Was that the end of them?
He was all right until we did the Macarena. He gave it a go, bless him. But oops, upside your head, he went,
I'm not being funny.
No.
And, you know, a question that springs to mind here is, so that's, for me, that seems like a bit of a leap from spinning records, getting people dancing, to actually then going on a radio show and talking about Maureen and Margaret and their hamster breeding programme and now a break for the weather. And doing, instead of tunes that get people dancing, you're doing tunes that get people through the day.
I'd like to come back to that one, definitely.
Yeah, okay. Well, tell me about the leap between party DJ, club DJ, and local radio DJ.
Okay, and this will sound rubbish. This will sound rubbish on the podcast.
Well, I'm sure nothing's as glamorous as we get it. You don't worry about how this sounds.
This will sound rubbish on the podcast, but to try and put it across, could you ask me that question again?
Okay.
Bear with me on this. Go on.
I don't know if I remember it. I was a bit rambling.
Well, ramble something differently then.
Okay. Is there a leap, and it seems to me to be a bit of a difference between being a party club DJ to being a local radio DJ, talking to Maureen and Margaret about a hamster breeding programme and talking about day-to-day stuff and doing weather breaks and playing music that gets people through the day rather than playing music that gets people to party?
Now try and do your podcast with me not in the room. That's the leap.
I see.
When you sit at a screen and you say something,
Right.
but you're looking at a wall,
Right.
or you're looking out a window, and you can't see the people you're talking to.
Right.
Now, I do a breakfast show, as one of many shows. I do a breakfast show Monday to Friday, and I'm laughing, and you can hear me laughing about things. I don't know if you are.
Okay.
Because I can't see you.
Right.
So when I go, I hope you're having a great day today, and what are you doing today? Who am I talking to?
Well, I guess, whoever, I guess on the dance floor, I guess the thing is, it's the instant gratification of seeing people dancing, seeing their hands go in the air.
Even if they're not dancing, weddings are the worst. Because for the first 2 hours, nobody really wants to do anything.
They're not pissed enough.
But you watch the room and you see people swaying in the chairs or their feet tapping, and you go, yes, they like this. Or
Well,
I know
as a cover
going.
band musician, as a musician or anything, I guess it's slightly different for originals, but at the same time, if you're dying on your arse, you've got to do something to lift the room up. So if we've then got a set full of, if we'd planned a set out and the first 5 are fairly dreary songs and no one's interested, you change it up, flick the set around.
Exactly.
Right, so you read in the room, instant feedback, and that's the difference you're saying, that you're not getting that from
When I
doing
talk
that. Okay.
and laugh and joke and then put a song on,
Yeah.
we'll come back to that in a minute.
So
First this, how do I know you even like that song?
So what attracted you to want to make the change then? Was it because you wanted to give up your day job? Was it that you thought, oh, I've heard them boys doing that, I could do that?
I could do that, yeah.
Just a bit of an extension of what you were already doing between the songs at the nightclub?
42 years I've DJ'd. I've DJ'd on the side.
So DJ'd since you, 2 years old then?
About 1.5, you know. Do I look like it was 2? Yeah, I started when I was 16.
Did you?
How old am I now?
I'm doing the maths on that. It's too early on a Saturday morning.
What day? Yeah, I'm 50.
And I'm a musician, so I can't count past 4 anyway.
Do you want to borrow some fingers?
No.
So yeah, I love music. Music's been my life.
Yeah.
And I love music to all degrees. Even music that when I was younger I didn't like.
Okay.
I worked at a nightclub late 80s, late 87, 89 time, leading up to the 90s, at this one club, and they loved reggae. I didn't. Hi Dale, have you got any reggae? I have indeed. Can you put some on? No.
I'm a stubborn sod.
And they'd just look at me and they'd go, but we want. I said, I don't care.
Yeah.
But you've got to. I said, floor's full. No, I don't. And I even went out and bought a picture disc with a 12-inch picture disc of Ziggy Marley and Tomorrow People doing Tomorrow People with the poster inside folded. Never been played. I've taken it out once.
Right.
Just so when the guy from the club came up and said,
I've got it here. Yeah.
he went, have you got any reggae? I went, have I got reggae? Wait there. And I put that up and went, look, it's the new one from Ziggy Marley. Oh, can you put it on? I went, don't be daft, it'll be worthless if I play this. And put it back in the box and play something else.
You absolute
I
sod.
got offered by this guy 50 quid for it. He
Wow.
went all the way up to 50 quid. And back in the day, 50 quid, you're like, whoa. I went, no. And just refused to let him have it. I said, you go find it. And I knew he couldn't get it because at the time, it was just a promo.
For sure.
So I used to enjoy that interaction.
Okay, so that's how you
Radio
that's how you
doesn't
made the
give
change.
me
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
I thought.
Well, these days, I guess
But
with
it turns out it
social media these days,
Yeah.
you put a shout on the radio if people are listening. I see you start chat threads through your Facebook page and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Smart Radio 101. Just have a search, and you'll see like you do a chat. This is a chat thread for the show.
Yeah. I do a Monday night show called Bad Monkey, and I have at the moment a Facebook page called The Bad Monkey Radio Show. But I've got so many social media things going on that I'm going to start cutting them back. And the main one I use is Neil Jones on Smart Radio.
It can get very scattergun.
Too many.
I find it can get like
you
I've
just
got one
dilute
for the
it.
band, one for the duo, one for the solo stuff, one for
just too much. So I've started to dilute things. So there's certain pages that people may be used to seeing that are going to be moved.
Right.
We had a page for Smartfest, which maybe we'll come back and talk about another time. But I've put that in the process of closing down because it's run through Smart Radio 101. So we'll just put everything on there. So I'm going to be getting rid of that one, and the Bad Monkey Radio Show will eventually go, and it's just going to go to Neil Jones on Smart Radio as one thing, because I get most of my hits through that page. And the chat threads will be there, and some weeks loads of people come in chat.
Are your multi-social media things though because you kept forgetting that you'd set one up and losing the
Who are you?
password to it?
Where am I?
But anyway, what I wanted to ask you next was, how do we know each other? Just to give some sort of synergy and some sort of wrap to this and why the hell you were here. But how did we meet? How do we know each other?
A previous Monday night incarnation of my show, someone said, would you like Paul Gillings to come on? I said, of course I would, because once the radio started, it became important to me for local guys, musicians out there, because when you start a radio station and people see it, they go, would you play my music? And you go, yeah, send it in, I'll have a listen.
Well, this is why I need you, local radio person, in here to talk me through how we do that as bands, and how we get our music on your radio show. Because
normally,
I'll be honest, it's fucking difficult sometimes. You contact these people and you don't know how to approach. You don't know how to approach these bands. Again, like I said, we were saying on the another edition, talking to local promoters and events people. This might not be your full-time job. You might have hundreds, thousands of people. I mean, getting your stuff played on BBC local radio is next to impossible. They do a BBC introducing where you can upload your track, and they will play you once. They'll play you once. I know this is a conversation we've had, and I will bring that in a bit. And getting back onto BBC radio is a pain. We know that, or next to impossible, unless you actually break through and make it and get on a playlist. But you can tell us about that too. But what made you want to do that as opposed to be at any other radio station? So there was another one. I think it used to be called, I don't want to name it too much, but the word started with a B, and they had a
bought out.
place, by a big
Yep.
Global, I think they got bought
Who
out by.
know me.
But do they really?
Yes.
You know, everybody, because they're global. But they had a station, and we submitting our band demo to them time and time and time and time again, and they were not interested. Why are you interested? Have you always been interested, and what's changed? You know, what has brought that about? Is it a cultural shift? Is it just you?
Me.
It's you, because 20 years ago, I'm talking about, I was submitting to these radio stations.
Do you know what the difference was? Why it's so hard, and even for me now, when you run a station, you don't have a lot of time. I do pretty much everything. Terry is a godsend. He's come on board
Hello,
with
Mr.
me.
Terry Sullivan.
Mr. Sullivan, hi. He's now my partner in the radio and in many other things that we're working on together. So the workload is spread. And you will find in some small stations that although the workload is spread, there's normally one guy that deals with. And I remember Terry saying something to so-and-so. He said, "Oh, this is Neil." He said, "He's the boss at the radio." And I took the introduction, shook the hand, said hello, and they left. And I looked at him and I went, "No, you're the boss too.
We're partners. Yeah.
And he went, "No, you will always be the boss of the radio." He says, "Because when you introduce someone to someone, they like to meet the boss, not my partner." I went, right, okay. So he always refers to me as the boss.
Right.
And as such, over 4 years now, I have been the one that's taken everything on my shoulder, and I've got a team of guys around me that put out great shows.
Yeah.
Without them, it just wouldn't be happening. But when it comes to the backroom stuff, I'm the one that's trying to sort this out. And people send you music.
Right. Just randomly.
Just randomly send you music.
Okay, well, let's
and you end up with an inbox of 80 emails, and you go, "Well, they weren't there yesterday."
Okay, so what have we got to do then to stand out amongst that? I wonder if you could walk us through some, as a band, if a local musician listening out there, and they say, right, I've written down Smart Radio 101, and you know, I've got this whole list of radio stations. I've been through the internet. They give you their email addresses. What are there? Some do's and don'ts?
Don't send me a demo.
Right, demos are not a thing anymore.
Don't
right?
want to play.
I want to ask about that.
I want
what's
a finished.
The difference
I want a finished product.
For the uneducated, what's the difference then?
You're in your shed. You've knocked it together in your upstairs studio. It's not mastered. It's not finished. They send it to you, and you go, "I like that,"
So
and play it. And they go, "It's all right. Once we get that mastered, it's going to sound even better." And you go,
so what is it? A bit hissy? It's quiet.
It can be a number of things. It could just be echoey. It could be hissy. It could be, well, that don't sound. No, I don't want to play that.
So why is it you wouldn't play those? Would that then devalue the quality of your broadcasting?
I don't care about that.
Okay.
What I care about is if I play your music, your music has to stand up to the next thing I play.
Right.
So if they're giving me something from, God forbid, the other ginger in the world, Ed Sheeran, and then you come
I will
on.
just say, for those that don't know, I walked into my ex-manager, sorted out an interview at your radio station, did she?
Yeah.
And I walked in, and the first thing he says to me was, "Well, I didn't know you were ginger."
Yeah.
And it's like, so I'm going to do something similar to you now.
Okay, here we go. Payback.
As you're now in my house,
That's
would
a
you
big
like
one
to
you've
hold
got.
my great big organ?
I'd love to hold you. I've heard so much
Here,
about it.
look at my great big organ.
Look at the size of that.
Would you like to blow it?
Oh, do I blow or suck?
Or you can do either. Sucking's preferable.
Which part would you like?
Oh, the middle. I am, of course, talking about a giant harmonica that I owned that I think now is hilarious. Because the other thing you then did to me...
Talk rubbish, your organ's got holes in it.
Because the other thing you did to me, because you had a radio show called Big Chicken.
Yes.
And now it's Bad Monkey.
It's
I think
Bad
you've
Monkey,
just
the
got
chicken
something
is
about
dead.
farmyard, about armed animals.
Yes.
So you had these two stuffed chickens, or
Cocks.
you then called cocks, yes.
They were cocks,
and
yeah.
because it's radio and it was a good visual gag, you put these two cocks in. Which of these cocks is biggest? And put them in my hands, and I had to judge. So there you go. Now you've touched my organ. I held your cocks.
Well,
are we even now?
Yeah, but when you come on next time to the new Monday night show called Bad Monkey, you get to spank my monkey.
So childish.
I know, but it works, doesn't
12
it?
years old, but it's still hilarious. I'm still smoking.
So when I play your music against Ed Sheeran's music, if you're hissy, echoey, it's not mastered, it's not a finished product, you're saying crap.
Right.
Nobody wants to listen to you again. Nobody's certainly going to buy that.
So what you're trying to do is present the best version of them in their own best interest.
If you can play,
Right.
if you can sing, and if you've got a product finished, ready to go, and you want it airplayed,
Yeah.
don't just send me. Definitely, this is one of them. Don't send me a link to this is my latest track. A link will take you to my SoundCloud account, my Spotify account. Go have a listen. No,
right, okay.
send me the MP3.
So would you advise attaching the MP3 or is a link to a Dropbox folder okay?
Either will work.
Either is good,
as long as
yeah.
it says there's a link to a Dropbox or attached is the MP3 and a WAV. Because sometimes some stations don't want an MP3.
Don't want it because they're a bit sniffy about the WAV is the better product.
I sent a record off, which will be a whole new topic.
As a station owner, what do you prefer?
Well, we use, because you've got to watch space. WAVs are bigger. So if you've got 30,000 MP3s or 30,000 WAVs, it takes up a lot more space on the system. But then the purists will go, and I had this back from a station that I sent some
I've
music
got it from
to.
lots of stations.
We don't accept MP3s. We only accept WAVs because
absolutely.
the quality is good. You think, and I actually wrote back to them. They were in Spain, and I
Some
just
of them
went
are quite specific about the sample rate of them as well.
And I told him to stop being a cock, and I wouldn't. I said I won't be sending you any more fucking music. I said because you're an internet radio station's going out at 192. Why do you want a WAV?
So I was then going to ask because I gave a CD to a mate the other day, and he immediately put it into his, because we still have CDs, because we're a bit old school. He put it into his stack system and started fiddling around with the EQ. And I thought, so some mastering engineer in LA has spent thousands of hours getting the techniques together for you just to go
play.
bass boost button.
Yes.
Yeah. So once I've given you my WAV file in its purest 44,100 whatever the number is,
It will be
128K.
broadcast on an internet
It's through
station.
the internet,
The same
down in
as an
someone's
MP3.
phone, or down some
Alexa.
crackly radio.
I'm not being funny. The bit rate, when you get these things, you can choose. Do you want to go out at 128 or 192?
So that's you can choose whether you want to broadcast at those, can you?
I can't put out at 320 though.
Oh, really? So if someone sends you an MP3 at 320 kilobits
It makes
per
no
second,
difference. You get it the same as somebody sends it to me at 192.
Wow. Okay, that's good to
Makes
know.
no difference.
So what would you say to people that
192
have got a hit back from these radio stations and said, we want a WAV file? Would you just cave and send a WAV file, or would you just go...
As a musician,
yeah.
send them what they want. If
We
they're
see now
prepared to
what I
play
do.
you-
Now what I do is I set
You
up.
send both.
I set up a little folder which has my album artwork in. Is that helpful?
It is because, like for me, for example,
Yeah.
with social media driving things, I'll pick a song of the week.
Yeah.
So on my Neil Jones on Smart Radio page, I'll go, this is my week's show, one post pinned to the top.
Right.
And it has 4 pictures.
Yeah,
and it'll be the Smart
album
logo,
covers. Yeah.
be my song of the week that I've chosen. So if you send me artwork and I love your song, your song could be song of the week. So great for the artwork, and I'll go look for it.
Okay, so include like MP3 version of your song or songs, WAV file of your songs, album artwork,
Bio about yourself,
Okay.
and a bio about the song.
right?
But start with the bio on the song.
How long are we talking about for a bio? Rambling.
No,
I was born in a pea
yes.
farm.
Something that I can read in 30 seconds.
Okay, so we're talking about 100-ish words, sort of really 50,
I want
100 words.
Basic.
Absolutely.
Hi,
really
Paul
basic.
Gilling's been working as a ginger harmonica player for 25 years now. This is my second album, and this is going to be the lead-off track from it. I'm a ginger git.
Well, actually, thanks for writing my next bio. I don't need to send you that, do I?
No, I've already done it. All ready to go.
He's done it.
But the most important thing, I found... Get a label behind you. That's why you're not getting played.
So
with
if you as a radio station owner, if you see that person's got a label behind them,
I'm going to listen to that first.
okay, what if those thinking out, because immediately as a musician looking for an easy way in, I would go, I've just invented my own label. I'm just going to say this is Paul Gilling's album from London Road Records.
Do it.
Yeah, really.
Damn
Even
straight.
just blag it.
Blag it.
Yeah.
Do
it's
not
good
say, I
advice.
do not want Paul Gilling's, hi there, I'm a harmonica player and I've just made this cracking rock album and this is my latest single. I hope you can play it on your radio. What I don't want is an inbox on my Facebook page saying, can you play my song on your radio and send me a link in a messenger?
right, yeah,
because delete.
Okay.
delete. Because
do
if you're
you think
doing that-
etiquette is a lot of it then? Because I do see a lot of radio DJs, because over the year of submitting to them, they friend you on Facebook so that you can then promote their shows, which is also good etiquette. If somebody plays you, share their content, share the show that you're on, share the other artists. Yeah, that's a good etiquette.
If I'm
because
playing
it
your
makes them want to
music,
come back, isn't it?
Do you know what I hate? And in 4 years of doing this, you see, these things, they can kill you, or they can make you.
Yeah.
I hate you.
You hate me.
I hate you and everyone like you. Everyone, you know what I mean. As a band, hi there, we're a local band and we were listening, we heard so-and-so was on your station the other day and we've played with them, and would you listen to our music? And you go, that's really good actually, I'll play that. Oh, we got played on Smart Radio today, and they're filming their Alexa speaker and we're appearing on BBC Radio Introducing, and they never share you again.
No.
Because the difference between me and Radio Introducing and BBC Radio is if I like your song and I play your song, I don't play you once.
Right.
I play you and I take your song and it's added to the main playlist. That's where Smart Radio 101 is different. We don't have a fixed playlist for the week.
Right.
There's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of tracks in there. From good old 60s tracks that people love to the 10s. We don't do a lot of chart stuff, including you. And if someone gets in touch with me when I'm on air and says, you got Paul Gillings, so-and-so, so-and-so. I go, you never wrote that one, but I got KWS. It's there.
Yeah.
And I go, I have actually, and actually, I could play that in a bit.
So for you, it's about discovering this music and then building a relationship. So if we can, like, schmooze a radio station, and I've got to be honest, sometimes schmoozing radio stations gets exhausting. Because, and you can go to places like the Indie Bible, and there's lists of radio stations in there. Be genre specific. Do you have a genre specific to your radio station? No? Okay, so like the drum and bass guy, anybody can say...
Okay, I don't do drum and bass. I don't have genres.
Well, I guess that's not genre specific, but there are genres that you don't actually
there's things I don't
prefer not to.
Yeah, we don't play it. Our demographics don't do that. I suppose
so
our
is it worth
demographics over the years have shown me that our biggest age range of listeners are 35 to 65.
So is it worth researching as an artist? Is it worth researching the genres that you play before you send it in?
Why would you
as opposed to
send
randomly just spattering crap at people?
Why would you send your music to a drum and bass station?
Well, you wouldn't. So research it first. Absolutely.
Research. You need to do it right. You need to, if you're going to be played, if you're going to be played once, you're going to jump all over. Oh, we're on BBC.
Yeah.
Everyone loves that.
They never play you twice.
They never play you twice. And how often do they call you back?
Are you quite rare as a radio station for doing that, or do you feel that other radio stations? Yes, I would hope not too. But
yeah. We spoke earlier about community radio stations. And from day one, I've always said, I'm not a community radio station because I don't care about your fucking hamster.
Well, you don't. I guess the difference between being an internet radio station, and we didn't get onto this, but being an internet radio station and being an FM radio station especially if you're local radio. I mean, I remember talking to the guys at Park Radio over at Dis. Lovely people.
Lovely guys.
Great radio station, But because they're community radio, I was on a blues show with a guy called Graham, super guy, and he was like, "Oh, we've got to watch because 20 minutes I've got to do the traffic and the weather."
Yep.
But you don't have to. But you do that on your show.
The only way we keep going is people give us money.
Right.
So we sell sponsorships.
And
so they sponsor a show.
Of course.
Or they advertise and they do that. So that's how we pay the bills. And we've got a couple of patrons, a couple of companies that are patrons on board give us a chunk of change.
Yeah.
And my idea is once this madness of being stuck indoors or whatever.
The C word, yes.
Yeah. Once that's over with, maybe we will get back into a studio, a small one. And you rely on those patrons to stay with you year in, year out, because they pay the bills, which allows me to do what I need to do. As an internet radio station, I'm not governed by Ofcom.
Okay, right.
I am not an internet... I am not a community station, and I've said this from day one, I'm an independent radio station. And as far as independent radio stations go, I'm the biggest, fastest growing independent radio station in this entire county. Because I'm the only independent radio station. I'm not a community station that has to bow to Ofcom. And you have to be. Bang, 12 o'clock the news comes on, because we pay for the news. So basically what happens is, at 12 o'clock, The news comes on.
So on one hand, you're turning away from a bunch of funding, but at the same time, you've got to seek that funding somewhere else. So it comes more from
advertising,
and local sponsorship.
I could get a load of funding if I went FM.
Yeah,
but it's just too. I've said this to my
license alone. I remember you telling me about the license.
It's all cost. Putting the area lot costs.
Yeah.
Yes, you can pull in about 30 grand from going FM.
Do you think you would reach a broader audience? I personally think
no,
that you wouldn't, because you're not broadcasting to the world anymore.
Yes, I would be. Just like the local station I was at is now FM, but they're still broadcasting
on internet
as
well.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because they've now got a new aerial, which gives them a slightly bigger range. But I've got friends that do not live that far away, can't pick them up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
so
you're only
FM
given
right?
FM is not a community station. FM license gives you an FM range. Doesn't give you like BBC's FM countrywide.
Okay,
it's for that area.
So you would literally be, and because we live in seaside towns, like
put it this way,
180 degrees is sea anyway.
Exactly.
So you're broadcasting to sea for half of your demographic,
yep.
right?
Cod love it. But I guarantee you, I would be stunned if you could put your radio on now and pick them up clearly.
Really?
And you live, what, 12 miles away?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't happen, because you're in a different town. This town's allowed its own licence.
Okay.
So why would you be picking up a licence another town?
So it's kind
they
of 6 to
have
1
to
and half a dozen of the other, really.
It's the FM. It's that FM.
It does have credence, doesn't it?
You can get us on the radio.
It does seem to have some gravitas.
Well, because people are used to radio. Mm-hmm. A lot of people haven't got used to the fact that we have moved on. Mm-hmm. And there are other ways you can listen. If you've got an Alexa in your house, yes, and, well, just ask it to play us. Mm-hmm. Well, what do you mean? Well, I've got a wireless there. Okay. I see it's a DAB. Yes, it does FM and DAB. Well, do you know you could go, and there's advertising now, folks, because it helps me. There's a brand of internet radio called Pure.
Yes.
And you get a Pure internet, DAB and FM radio. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to update your DAB radio, buy a Pure one.
Yep.
That does internet as well.
Yep.
Because we're on the Pure network as Smart Radio 101. Mm-hmm. Well, so you can put that on, and you can actually put your wireless on in your front room, your Pure internet DAB FM,
radio,
and go click and listen to Smart Radio on the wireless if you want to. Yeah. You put the app on your phone, go play. How many cars now don't have a Bluetooth stereo in their car? Yeah. Click play, we're coming out of your car stereo while you're driving. The difference is, when you get 15 miles up the road, you're not getting that local FM station anymore unless you're going through their internet. Where me, you could be in Scotland listening to me. You could be in Wales listening to me. I get people from all over the country talking to me on my breakfast show, from Devon to Stoke and left to right, and my lunchtime shows I get New York and Massachusetts talking to me. On my breakfast show in the morning, the guy says every morning, Greg, hello Greg, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Do you have a good night's sleep last night? Because we both suffer from insomnia.
Yeah.
He's in Melbourne.
I mean, the stress of owning a local radio station
hasn't helped. This was never this colour.
The beard.
It was strawberry blonde.
You were ginger, just like me. Don't lie.
Okay.
So yeah, well, I just want to touch on a point there about keeping it going, about that sponsorship, about the funding of it and keeping it alive. And I think it has a joint thing there with what I was talking about with the guys last week about local venues and mic nights and stuff like that, is that we need to participate in these things as musicians and as lovers of music, because you're someone that's supporting local music, that's playing local bands, that is playing original stuff. And we can just send in our stuff, and just like I said, we can not share it, not listen to your shows, not give a shit about it, and then be all like, oh, well, that's another radio station gone to the wall. Well, if you don't use it, you lose it.
You've got it. You've got it. There's too many stations that are selling out to the big names. You're too many little stations. I call myself a little station.
It is a fairly little station. It is just size-wise,
our studio
a laptop and a microphone.
It's very small at the moment because of COVID. We ripped out our studio on the 23rd of March 2020.
Oh God, man.
We ripped the studio out that day, and I took it home and I put it on my kitchen table.
Yeah.
And I went, I'll be right for a few weeks. For 12 weeks, I sat at the kitchen table every morning doing the breakfast show.
2 years later.
And and I remember one guy messaged me and he says, what have you done to your station? And I'm like, looking at my phone, thinking, what the heck? What's going wrong with the sound? I went, ripped it out and took it home. He went, no, seriously, what the heck have you done to the station? I said, I ripped it out and took it home. Seriously? He went, no. Seriously? He said, you've never sounded so clear and so good.
Who knew that your kitchen was such a great sound booth?
And I went...
Perhaps I should set up my recording studio in there and start
More than
recording albums.
Prices are really good. So I had to send him a picture. I went, look, I'm sitting at the kitchen table. He went, don't go anywhere else.
Wow, okay.
Which I had, because you can't stay at the kitchen table for 2 years. So we ripped out a room and I moved everything into there, which is now a bit filled up with other stuff. But it works. And I get people... And when you listen to the radio, do you know where they are?
Absolutely.
For 2 years of that C word, Ken Bruce has been working from home.
Wow.
Not at the
Who's he?
studios.
I'm kidding.
Radio, but you know what I mean. Radio 2, main DJ during the morning.
Well, you've only
got
to watch even if you take it to television, you watch Sky News in the morning, they're still contacting people in their lounge.
Exactly.
Still, 2 years later.
Exactly.
I was going to ask you something, and it's completely gone. Oh, that's it. About people's shows that you put on as well. So because you don't have a studio, people don't come in to do their radio shows anymore. So I know Terry does, but people like Mr. Darren Steger-Lewis, I'm going to get him on the show to talk about Carfest and stuff like that. Did he? Because there was a while there he was
recording from home because we weren't allowed in people's houses.
Right. So he was then submitting a 2-hour WAV file or an MP3.
They would record their show at home, and the guys went, no problem, leave it with me.
Yeah.
I said, you just need to do this. And they went, all right, I'm not a tech guy.
Darren's great with tech, so I'm not surprised.
I'm genuinely not.
Yeah.
And even Darren went, well, I'll need to try. I went, mate, just do it this way. And he went, leave it with me. And bang, knocked out the park. I went, well done.
So he's not then broadcasting live. These then submitting, like I say,
they're submitting in the shows, and I say to them, there's some shows, don't mention the day unless that's the day your show goes out or you only go out on. Yeah. Don't say, of course, a lovely sunny day today, because it might not be. Just record your show as a show. And they're recording those shows, they send them over to me, and I make sure they go out at the same scheduled time they always did when they used to turn up and do it live. And then if they're available and they want to, they just say, I'll come do it live this week. And I go, yeah, right.
Great.
I used to have Chris Hare, who does a Northern Soul show on a Thursday night. He would turn up at mine on a Thursday night, 7 o'clock, just before, make himself a cup of coffee, go through to the studio and do his show live. Terry does a couple of shows of his sets live. Paul Smith does his recorded, but he said he's going to pop in one day and do a Sunday show live, but it's a Sunday.
Great blues show by Paul there. He always plays my stuff. Bless his heart. Thank you, Paul.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
An award-winning blues show.
Award-winning blues show.
My show of the year was for 2021. He got awarded that at Christmas. So.
That's it. Well, he's got some great fans. I mean, I'm sort of active on the blues scene as much as I can, as much as they'll let me. And his show's fairly well revered there.
It is. We love it.
So getting away from radio just for a moment, just towards the tail end of it.
Before you get away.
No, go on. Then what you got for me?
It's to do with your local band, finishing off that part.
Yeah.
Where they send me the music. Don't be discouraged, because there's some musicians out there that don't know how to finish their music off. Maybe then change your email. Don't say, can you play this? Say, look, we're new to the scene. We need as much help as we can get.
Yeah.
I've attached a demo, but I don't know where to go or where I take this next. So if you've got some time...
So be real then. So basically be yourself. And if you're not sure and you don't know, listen to this, it's amazing. If you know in your heart it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I can't remember who it was. Someone came on one of my Monday night shows and I said that, and they said, no, they were listening. I said I'd play the song for them. And I played their song. I said, I really like that, which is just as well. Because if it was shit, I'd tell them so. This is on air. And they've come back and they went, I genuinely believe you would.
Yeah.
And they sent their second song. I went, nah, crap. And they went, sorry. I said, it's not crap, really. I said, but it's nothing like the first song. Leave it with us. And they went away and refiddled and come back. I said, what are you going to say? And I went, love it. So be real. Don't be the big guy. But there's too many local bands, as you said, use it or lose it. They're not getting in touch with me. 4 years I've been going.
Yeah.
Who was in the shortlist for Song of the Year last year?
Well, me and Danny.
What, a local band?
Yes, a local duo.
Just a local duo?
Just a local duo.
What, to get on that shortlist for Song of the Year, your song must have been played quite a lot through the year. Not just once.
Was it at one point you messaged me and said your song is actually was it 4th or 5th most played song in the entire year?
You got to second.
People had requested it. Yeah.
You were second at one point.
Wow.
You were played more than the other Ginger. So, as a local band...
I bet my PRS checks weren't as big as his, though, I tell you.
No, they weren't, no. But as a local musician, you were getting played more than Ed Sheeran on a local radio station.
Yep.
And he's a local boy. I
Yep.
give him a shout. Come on down, Ed.
Yeah, just a short drive from Woodbridge there, mate. Come on, Framlingham, is he?
So most Woodbridge people got 6 toes. You should get here in no time.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, but he's ginger. You know yourself how many toes you've got. Come on, own up.
My feet are webbed, so it's basically just one toe all across, mate.
I used to live here. I know what it's like. I used to
swampy. It's very swampy. It's below sea level.
I used to swim a lot when I lived here.
I bet you did.
Yeah. So send me your music, because you could be the next local guys that aren't signed. We're a little independent. We put together this EP, and my song's been played more than Ed Sheeran.
I'll
and
tell you what it
anybody
did
else.
for me, then, and just exactly by you saying that is feedback on my music, mine and Danny's music. It's feedback on our original music, and I think, musicians, we do need that, no matter how much we're afraid of it, and it can't always be positive. But I think getting feedback on it and getting some, just like, is it good? Is it bad? Just getting some validation there as well.
Yeah.
All these things work, doesn't it?
You asked me something, because I was saying people love your music. And you go, yeah, that's the hard thing, getting that feedback. So, and it's the ego, and if you haven't got ego in this game, then what's the point? You want to know that people like your stuff.
Yeah, to a point.
And I never sent this. I never sent it, but I screenshotted it.
Okay.
From a Bad Monkey show 2 weeks ago. And I think I played KWS again.
Okay, yeah, which is a song off my Invisible Prison album. It's an instrumental track.
Plug. It's a kick-ass rock track, man.
Okay, right.
And if any of you are out there going, is that Paul Gillings, the harmonica player, doing a kick-ass rock track? Give over. No, seriously. And this got sent to me from a guy in South Wales.
Okay.
Listens to the show religiously. Called Kevin. Great tunes as ever. I'm loving this. Paul Gillings, ? Awesome. Need to see him live. There it is for you to look at. Save that on my phone.
Well. Look at that. Blimey. Yeah, unfortunately, I won't be playing that song live because I don't have a full band.
No, but you know what I mean?
Yes.
He's heard your other music, because I haven't just played that. I played other tracks of yours.
Amazing.
So, wants to see you live.
Wow.
And this is a guy from South Wales who plays in a band.
So I've reached those just by submitting my songs to you, and
Hey, Upstate New York NASA's bought your album.
Blimey, I don't want to call it playing the game, because as artists we don't feel we should have to, lick arse and do this, but it's not arse licking. It's supporting each other. You're a radio station. You need music to play. I'm a local guy, I need help. I'm a musician, I need help.
I'll stop you at that one.
Well, go on.
I'm a local radio station, and I've got all the music in the world to play. I do not need your music.
Oh, come on, but you need somebody's music, right?
Yeah, but it's there.
Okay.
I've been 42 years of DJing. You think I haven't got the music?
Oh, okay, fair point. No,
I don't need your music. I don't need the band up the road's music. The difference with this station is I want your music.
Right, okay.
I want to play your music, and I have this thing throughout lockdown. I've been doing it, and it's just since the radio, really. You earn fuck all streaming.
You really do. Tell me about it. Yeah.
So my thing is, here's this great song I've just got from guys in Scotland. New band out. They put a thing out there as our new song. Would you like to play it?
Yeah.
And I had a listen. I had time on my hand. I was drinking coffee, and I hit the play button.
Yeah.
And instantly stopped playing it. You know me. 20 seconds, turn it off. Yep, that's getting played.
Yeah.
Ballado's the name of the band from Glasgow. And there's jock in me. My dad and my grand's from Scotland. My dad's from both from Glasgow area.
Yeah.
And let's have a listen to these guys. Glasgow Click. Off, play it a lot. It's high up the playlist for this year now.
Great.
It's called Buffalo. Superb track. I wouldn't have that if I weren't listening to the music submitted. These guys aren't signed. These are just young lads. This is their debut single. It's getting picked up everywhere.
Great. Wow.
People are going, oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, I'll play that. Yeah, I'll play that. But they don't. I was one of the first to go, bang, play that. And they come back to me. They went, fantastic. Thank you so much.
There's an obvious thrill in you as a DJ, as a music lover, to want to discover bands. Like, I can see it in your eyes right now. There's an obvious passion in your voice there. I found them.
Yeah, but I want you to buy their music first. It costs 99 pence. Buy that song.
Yep.
And then add that song to your Spotify playlist. Because then They don't earn a lot,
No.
but as you're playing your playlist,
Yeah.
they're earning.
And get a request. See, the thing is, I get more for a radio play than I do for a Spotify play.
Yep.
So every time you play my songs, because I'm registered with PPL and Performing Rights Society, and message me anybody listening, and we're going to do a show on that anyway about
You
how
need
to
to
get songs
tag
out.
your music, so that you do get recognised for plays.
And get people buying merch is the next one as well.
Yeah.
So when you say buy the CD, buy the single, go to their website, buy their stuff, support them, because Spotify stream is great, and I think as musicians we need to give something away, but we've also given it to you as a radio station. And I want to ask,
You earn nothing from me playing your music.
I do earn a little bit,
but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
getting your music played on the radio.
It's graded. When I got played on Radio 2, that was the biggest one. For one off-peak, for one Radio 2 off-peak play, and that show then got repeated.
Hey.
Each time that show got repeated, I got £58.
Seriously?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
So when you listen to Radio 1, or when you listen to any of these major radio
I
stations
pay my PP
in peak hours,
So I
them
pay
boys must be getting £100 a play.
But I'm playing your music.
Yeah.
The music you sent me. Mm-hmm. I pay my PPL.
Yep.
Are you getting paid every time I play it?
Yep. Absolutely. More than a Spotify stream. It's pence, but I do get paid for it.
There you go then.
But then,
Superb.
what I was then going to say is, my files, when I send them to radio stations,
Must be
I
complete.
embed the ID3 tags. Now, ID3 tags is the metadata. If we can just, hopefully educate or help people that don't know the uninitiated. You think that's essential, do you?
Essential.
I've heard radio DJs throw files away. I've seen on my Facebook feed, they've just said, this came in without ID3 tags, not even going to play it.
Nope. If it's not tagged, how do you get your money?
Well, there's that.
The ego bit comes in. I'm on the radio.
Yep.
Great for you. I'm on the radio.
So we need
Smart
to tag
radio
it with,
are playing
so
me.
what's the information we need to put in there? So if you want to get paid, it's got to be your ISRC code or International Songwriting Code, be that from your ASCAP or whatever it is, if you're in America or stuff like that. But everything it's International Songwriting Code needs to be embedded in there. Artist name, album name, song name. And if you can, the more information the better. So if you can put BPMs in there and stuff like that, I find that radio DJs sometimes like that.
Time consuming, isn't it?
It is a pain in the ass, is what it is.
But that's what got you your 58 quid.
No shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So when bands are out there going, oh, I'm not earning nothing. Somebody you were playing on BBC the other night. Oh, I got nothing. You get 58 quid. No, I didn't. Did you not put the information on the track? No. What information? Well, don't moan about it then if you're not going to take the time to do it.
For sure.
I can only play what I've got.
We have to as artists. I mean, there is some ego, but we have to take it out of those. And a record company's not necessarily, because they work differently. If we can just segue into radio, into record companies, things work differently now, don't they?
They work a hell of a lot differently now.
As you've discovered,
as
you've started a small record company, because your life wasn't difficult enough.
I know, don't even do that.
So you've started, and this is recent as well. And I want to get you back to talk, and probably get Terry in as well, your other guy.
Depends on how long you're on the podcast. You're going to get Terry talking. Come on.
But if we can just do the sort of last sort of segment on this, just touch briefly on what your Bad Monkey Records is, why the hell you started, you crazy fool, and what your just ethos is.
2 years ago, before COVID, I discussed this. There was a band that were talking to me, and I thought, you know what, they're good. I could sign them to my label, push them, make them a load of money, make myself a couple of quid along the way, and have some fun. Because going back on what you said earlier about how do I get my music played, just before I started radio, literally just before I started radio, I published my first novel. Put it self-published on Kindle.
I did not know this. I'm looking up. Are you under a pseudonym?
Nope.
Wow.
And I've been working on this as a bit of fun.
Neil Jones?
From way back, okay?
Yeah.
And I'd written this novel, and people said, have you ever finished that book yet, 20 years later? No, I ain't got time, I'm working. And I'd pick it up now and again and write a bit, and write a bit, and write a bit. And then I finally finished it. An ex of mine said, why don't you just finish that bloody book? And I said, because I've got to go to work.
Are you Brian Griffin from Family Guy? You working on a little novel? Got a novel? You working on a little novel?
And she went, I earn enough now. How long would it take you to finish it? I went, I don't know, 6 months. She went, take it. I went, sorry. She went, don't go to work. Do the book for 6 months.
Blimey.
So I did. I finished it.
Yeah.
And I sent it to a big company and a few others. Got kicked back. No, sorry. Blah, blah, blah.
So this led you to publish it yourself?
So I just went,
short,
I can get it on Amazon, on Kindle, let's do it.
Yeah.
And you can buy it as a hard copy or download.
And they do
but it's
print on
there.
demand for that, don't they? So if I bought a copy,
If you bought a copy
they
of the
would
book,
print one.
print it.
They would print one.
Do you know the cost of the book? I would earn less.
Neil, you know what
way.
I do for a living, right?
Yeah.
I used to make those things. I used to make books, like print books, vanity press. You used to print them. We used to have a digital press that printed them. The paper cost pence.
I've never been able to promote it.
No.
The book's there. I bought 2 copies in hard copy. They're there on the shelf.
Fan.
I bought one because I wanted that first one.
That's why they call it vanity press.
My wife bought one because she wanted one. I went, but I've got one up there.
Well, you owe her a copy because she gave you 6 months off work.
It's there. Why can't I get it published?
Okay.
Because I don't have an agent.
I thought it was because it was shit.
It is pretty much, yeah. I say I'm not an author. I am not an author. I'm a writer, and there's a difference. But I can't get published.
Okay.
Because I don't have an agent. Mm-hmm. But I can't get an agent. Guess why?
I don't know because you book shit.
Apart from that, because I'm not published. It's a catch-22.
Right, okay, so this led you,
so
then
it
saw
now
that in
leads you
radio
down to the
stations?
so now you go to record
labels?
Why can't you get your music played on the radio?
Shit.
Because it's shit. Yeah. No, because you don't have a label behind you.
Okay.
Why can't you get a label behind you? Because you're shit.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So why did I start the label?
But they don't function like normal labels.
They don't.
These, do they? And
now we say, do what you do. Do what you've always done.
Right.
Still do the same work. Do everything you need to do. We give you full control.
You don't like take, because I've signed to a record label, and just briefly, you haven't taken control of my social media. Nope. You haven't told me the artistic direction or what I need to, how many times I need to release or what I need to release. You haven't organised a tour, anything like that.
But we're there for that help.
But what you yes, and mentoring and all of those things, and if opportunities arise, and you are in talks with people. But for me. And it's not the first record company that I've heard doing this these days, and how they have evolved from taking you and nurturing you and paying you a wage and all this business to being a promotional tool.
When that record of yours goes to Radio 2, it's not, hi, Paul Gillen's here, my latest release, my thing, goes in the bin, doesn't get listened to. Hi there. Bad Monkey Records here, brand new release from Paul Gillings off his upcoming new album.
Yep.
Thought you'd like to consider putting this on a relevant show on your station, from Neil Jones, Managing Director of Bad Monkey Records. They read all of that.
Right, okay.
Because it's, a record label got in touch with us. And we then do that. We send out your music. Give me a bio you want to go out with this, and we'll make sure it goes out. And we'll put it together and we'll send it around the world.
So you have a contact list that you've built up over the years.
For 2 years of COVID, it started before when I thought, let's have a label, and then it all went crap. But for 2 years, we've been sending emails to people with no bands signed, with no label existing, letting them know that the label will be coming, but with COVID putting things back, got a few acts that we want to send you music to. Would you be interested in receiving the music from? We've got some rock acts, we've got some blues acts, we've got some independent acts, and would you be interested? Love to hear from you.
So you're getting lots of bites on that, yeah?
Yes, thank you. And for 2 years, we've been building up a small list of different genres that have said yes.
Yep.
I even had one lady message back saying yes. Sadly, she's gone. I'll tell you about her afterwards. Because I'm not one for dropping those names.
Oh, clang! I says carpet in here. You can't drop
I just
names.
Went, Ed, any chance you could... Oi, Ginge. So it has changed the way labels work. And anybody that doesn't want to jump on that and go, well, I can do all of this... And you know how much work goes into tagging and doing and sorting and recording and mastering. And now I've got to send it out.
Well, this is it. And I think guys wait for the record company, we're hanging out for Sony, or whatever.
Yes.
What, Sony going to drive past the rehearsal studios in Lowestoft?
Friend of mine.
Or they're going to listen to the and go, oh, hey, boys, I'm going to make you a star.
There's a local guy.
Not work that anyway.
Again, no. There's a local guy to the region signed for Sony. Over the moon.
Amazing.
Telling everyone, I've got a record deal with Sony. Signed his name to the contract. Cannot, because they decided not to put the album out because he thought he was signed for Sony UK. He signed for Sony US. And they decided that they wanted to do a different album.
Right.
So he got put on the back burner. Indefinitely.
Yeah.
But he signed a 2-year contract.
Wow.
He cannot even go out and play in a pub and get paid.
Christ.
He cannot record any music by himself, put any self-penned music out. And
Yeah.
he's sitting on his arse for 2 years. He got paid a £50,000 advance.
Yeah.
No, 3 years.
Blimey, I couldn't live on that. But it's like, it's also, you know, they don't...
But that's not in his pocket, is it?
No.
Once the album's
No.
done and the promotional ads, we've got
Yeah,
the
that's a
promotion.
debt. That's a debt. You owe them that. And I don't think those offers are on the table. So
Very rarely.
Very rarely, if they are. But they also relies on you having a massive social media following, and practically to the point whereby you don't even really need them because they're your fans already. So you know. But what I do need as an independent artist, and what I do need as a local original musician, I need some fucking help, man.
Yeah.
I need some help.
Yeah.
And I think that's where record companies like the ones you started there, and there's a few of them about, and you're not asking millions of quid either, you know, it's not like we'll take all your money and send a couple of fucking emails, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Hey, let's
and
just...
the deal we have, if I don't make any, you don't make any.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. So you can't be ripping me off, because if I'm not earning nothing, neither are you.
I had a band that turned around and said, I ain't paying that much.
Yeah.
And I went, but why not? Well, no, we don't want to do that. And I went, fair enough. So? I said, fair enough. And they went, yeah, but you wouldn't sign that because you've got a clause in there that says all our music must be up to industry standard. Nobody would sign that.
This goes back to the radio station and demo quality versus professional master inquiry, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
It goes back to simple as that. And as a radio station owner, you can then see what it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I've just got this from conversations we had before. You know what a radio station, how they like to be approached.
Yes.
What they like
Well,
to...
I know how I like to be approached, so I would expect the others that work the same way.
So as an artist, I'm then putting my faith in you to say, I don't know how to approach radio stations because I've messaged this geezer and say, here's my track, here's a link, and he's fucking ignored me. But if I give it to you, we've got
contacts.
Right, you've also got, you know, a rapport and a relationship with these people.
Terry speaks to people, and we speak to their agents because we want to interview their stars.
Right.
So we deal with agents and promoters and have done for 4 years. Terry's been talking to these people for 20 years more. And
That was just one day of talking for Terry.
One day he said, someone was foolish enough to say, Terry, how the fuck are you today? 20 years later, they're still not quite sure. Is it good? Is it bad?
Poor old Terry.
Should I tell you? I'll tell you, Terry. Here you go. This is the sort of...
We love you, Terry, by the way.
Kinda. This is Terry.
Yeah.
And this is what Terry brings to the game, okay? Yesterday, which will be immaterial for the podcast, but they'll have an idea when we're talking.
Sure.
Yesterday, the news broke that Meatloaf died. And he died the night before, and big part of my life.
Yep.
As a teenager with Meatloaf and a friend of mine.
That album, Bow Out of Hell and Bow Out of Hell 2 were just life changing for a lot of people. You know, it's a cliche to say it almost. You know, it's almost too obvious.
But he died. I broke up on the Breakfast Show, and I said breaking news. I said huge blah blah. Going to play a track. Well, you think here comes Bow Out of Hell, and I went with Heaven Can Wait.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I couldn't come back and talk for another 4 or 5 songs. And I came back and said, well, enough of that. Let's just crack on with the show.
Man, what a choice.
And went for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Terry walks in, because Terry then was in the studio live after me. Did his show, and I was sitting out doing some work on the computer, and he walks through and he went, Lorraine Crosby. I said, I'd do anything for love, but I wouldn't do that.
Poor cow.
He went, do you want to talk to her on your show at lunchtime? And I went,
Did he have an in?
I went, yeah.
Wow.
He went, there's a number. I said, just find out what time.
Yeah.
He come back, he went, 1 o'clock. I went, done. 1 o'clock, I called her, and we had a chat for 20 minutes and played some music.
So these are the kind of connections. But that,
This is what we've kind of got there.
Name that did clang on the carpet there, but I'll allow you that
I threw
one.
it out, me.
I'll allow you that one. It was relevant.
It was but exactly. It wasn't just, do you want to speak to Lorraine? No, it was relevant to that day.
Yep.
And then later on in the day, there's lots of newspaper articles and things online, and she's starting to get picked up. We as a radio, bang, we were
So these are the kind of
Lorraine.
connections that you've had for a while, Terry's had for a while, but now wants to use to help.
If it can help us,
to help original musicians, struggling musicians out.
If we can get an in for you,
Yep.
these are the people we can use.
Well, I don't think I'll have her come and sing on my album, but
She's got a cracking voice, man. I would.
Oh God, has she? Jesus.
Oh, Meatloaf called her Mrs. Loud.
Did he?
Yeah,
Blimey, and he had a fair volume himself.
Yeah. So yeah, she's done. And can I give a plug?
Yeah, please do.
2020 hit you and it hit everyone. and all the local acts couldn't go out performing. What are we going to do? Doom and gloom.
Well, you know what I did? I recorded a whole album and then got with
exactly.
a duo and live streamed our head off.
There you go. And then signed with a rather nice sounding little record label. But she released a track in 2020 with
So this
Bonnie
is
Tyler.
this is Lorraine
Crosby.
who was the singer in the actual session musician on.
She didn't appear in the video because for the video they wanted someone that looked like Snow White.
For sure. So she was the
voice
of I would do anything, love, but I can't do that.
You got it.
Okay.
The girl who starred in the video, she was telling me yesterday when I was chatting to her, got offered 3 record albums. She said she couldn't sing a note. She had to turn them all down. She said, I didn't get offered one.
Fuck's sake.
And I went, why not? She went, well, I was in a deal, so I couldn't take them. But then I got dropped, and I still didn't get... I was like, So, but she's off singing it. And in 2020, she released...
Smart Radio will have her on for a chat.
We'll have her on for a chat. She did a song in 2020. I'm really sorry, I forgot the title off the top of my head, but it's like a Stand By You sort of thing.
Okay, something like that.
Wherever you go, I'll stand by you. Something like that. But she did it with Bonnie Tyler and Lorraine Crosby.
Whoa.
And yeah, both worked with Jim Steinman, Meatloaf, and they've done this song together right in 2020 and then shut down.
Yeah.
But it's for the Teenage Cancer Trust.
Okay, yeah.
So go look for this song and buy
Check it out. Yeah,
all right.
yeah,
So,
well,
but
mate,
yeah.
I'll tell you what about there. I think we've been chatting for a while there.
You can talk, can't you?
Will you come back and talk with Terry and talk exclusively about Bad Monkey and about the modern age of record companies with me? Will you come back and do that? Fantastic. Well, thanks ever so much for coming over, Neil, and we're so glad that you gave up your day job to look after us musicians and stuff.
Pleasure.
Mate. Thank you ever so much.
You've become my new family.
You can't leave now.